Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast USP, Unfolding Startup Potential, where we bring you the conversations with the leaders shaping the future of AI and technology. So, my name is Anya, and today we are thrilled to host Mehul Mohan, the co founder of Fermion. So, Mehul holds a bachelor's degree in BTech Computer Science, and he did this from BITS Pilani. And he also brings over the decade of experience in building cutting edge technology solutions. So, currently, he is on an exciting journey of building AI-ready EdTech cloud platform at Fermion. He'll tell us how technology and education comes together in this Gen AI era. So we will be talking about his journey, the challenges of innovating in AI. So let's dive right into it. So Mehul, how are you first of all? And you have had quite a journey from BITS Pilani to co-founder of Fermion, right? So yeah.
First of all, thank you so much for having me. So talking about my journey from college days to now being a co-founder, I think it's been a great ride. A lot of learnings, a lot of things for me throughout. But happy to jump into whatever specific learnings I can share.
So, what was the core problems in education according to you?
So when I started with initially CodeDam, which is then now Fermion, the idea was that how do we make programming, coding more practical? Because usually what I have seen in my college days also and in my school days also when I started programming is that a lot of learning, like 95% of learning happens through just people watching video content on platforms like YouTube, Udemy, things like that.
Yes.
So we figured out that let's make a platform where people can not only just watch content, which is by the way a great way of learning, but also practice as they're doing, because without practicing you cannot do anything. You have to learn by doing in case of programming.
Okay, got it. So since we are diving into AI trends today, right? So do you remember your first encounter with AI?
I do. I think it was somewhere near the same time when ChatGPT's first version was released, which was a very rudimentary first chatbot. It was not as impressive at that time. I think I had encountered with AI even in past when there were things like IBM's chatbots where you can configure and control some of these parameters. But really, the moment which made me think a lot more deeper about AI and these technologies in general was the release of GPT-4. I think back in last year in March. That was the true intelligence moment, because until then, I used to see it as a really fun tool just to get out some messages, some things. But the intelligence layer was really cool in the GPT-4 model release.
Okay. And how is Fermion using AI, AI platform to be more scalable?
So Fermion fundamentally allows educators and platforms to create their own experiences for students, right? So even while creating those experiences, platforms need to create content and students need to consume that content.
Okay.
And AI for instructors or for educators help them using generative AI to create content faster. For example, let's say if you're creating certain programming labs or coding labs, instead of sitting the whole day and configuring everything, you can just use a generative AI model that we have to configure a lab in one go. Similarly, student on the other end, when they are consuming a lab, when they are practicing a lab, they might run into issues. They might run into errors that they have never seen. That is where the generative AI in the platform can also help them figure out what's going wrong, very specific to their solutions. So all in all, I feel AI is a great personalization layer that gets added into education.
Okay. So at Learnbay, we have started live industry projects in collaboration with the companies to give learners the exposures, right? So do you think, according to you, working professionals, like for the working professionals, is it that mandatory or is it how helpful it is?
I think the world is changing very quickly, and if you are not catching up on the AI part, especially in your professional work at least, you will be at a huge disadvantage if you don't do that. So I feel it's extremely important that people not only just become aware about that these intelligent layer of softwares now exist, but also learn to use them properly in their professional work. So I think it's very important.
So Mehul, what according to you do you think that there will be a great difference when it comes to this AI, like the people, those who are doing this AI related courses, right? So what will be the major advantages for them and what are the job roles that they can target?
So in my experience, what I've seen so far is AI does not magically unlock new job roles. However, it does make you very efficient in your current ones. What that fundamentally also unlocks is that your productivity as an employee or as a person increases. So I do feel that there are many applications, like many ways AI will help you, not only in terms of your speed of executing your current work, but also the way you are learning new things at your job. So somebody who is just doing it the normal way, learning the regular way, versus somebody who's now using these AI tools will be at a massive advantage of speed, fundamentally, let alone like if other factors are same in terms of their access to education, things like that. So the speed, I feel, is the number one thing which you would get benefit from using these tools.
Okay. So now looking ahead, if you had to predict one Gen AI shift in EdTech cloud platform, right, over the next 5 years, so what would it be?
I think hyper personalization is something which I'm seeing in EdTech now starting to shape up. What I mean by that is fundamentally the platforms always has been that everyone has to learn in a specific single way, which has been decided the best by the platform. With these AI tools, because content can be generated on the fly, on demand, and questions can be answered on the fly, that makes it a very, very personalized experience for an end user, which in a lot of ways is a great thing. And this is the shift that we are even doing with Fermion and we are observing as an industry as well. So I feel everyone would be able to get a very intelligent and very smart teacher or mentor or somebody who can help them 24/7, which is the biggest shift I've seen. Like this was historically not possible.
Okay. So like fast forward to 2035, right? So how do you imagine AI will have reshaped the way we learn, we teach, we work, how it will be?
So, specifically for education, at least, personalization, like I mentioned, is the big thing, which would be a fundamental shift in how people learn. Extremely personalized way of learning. You have any questions? We have already seen these patterns. Anytime we have some questions, we fire up ChatGPT, ask it a question, and so on. Imagine that these whole technologies and these whole things are embedded into where you're learning as well in every platform. In terms of professional work, yes, now there are very specific tools as well. For example, Cursor is there, Claude Code is there for programming. So we have already started seeing that shift of very specific tools and specific workflows. And yes, over the time in the next 10 years or so, we will see the same shift that everything would be an AI powered system, and AI would sit in the background transparently. I feel like you would not even know that it's an AI system. It will be just transparent to your workflow. For example, today, if you check your emails or anything, you're watching a video on YouTube, you don't really think about how things are happening, like how Gmail is working or things like that. This means that these technologies are so fundamental now that they are in the background of your mind. You don't even care. You just open it and you start working. Similar things with AI. It will not be very uncommon for you to just use certain workflows and not even realize that I just interacted with an AI.
Got it. So, and finally, if you were not building Fermion right now, right? So, what do you think you would have done instead?
I think there is a lot of AI has opened a lot of opportunities, generally in every space. So, see, one thing what I would be doing is I would be looking deeper into what I already know outside of EdTech. Because in EdTech, Fermion is the best thing that we are doing right now. But if not Fermion, that I would look into where the maximum application of AI could be, where I have a right to win, where I could see that, okay, this is where in the past we have faced certain problems and AI unlocks this specific thing. I've not given it a lot of thought what exactly that would be. But if it would be something outside Fermion, it would be something very AI native, AI specific, which generally would be impossible to do before. So at Fermion, there are two paths which we are using at AI. First is on the instructor, the administrator side, which is where we help them with generative AI mainly. So like I mentioned, these coding boot camps and institutes that we help with, a lot of them use generative AI to create content, including labs and setting up video transcripts, things like that. On the user side, we are using a lot of this AI for summarization and transcription. So what I mean by that is out of thousands of live classes that happen on Fermion platform, a lot of people want to get summarization of what the live event was. want to talk to the video itself. Like, what am I learning in this video? I don't understand a specific thing. So that is where we are integrating AI within content to start with, because content can be, it can be compressed, it can be filtered out, people can ask content questions. This is definitely something that was not possible. And with AI, we are also starting to see use cases of. This is one of the things that we are working on right now, is that you upload a video in English, or you take a live class in English, and then your content becomes regional, right? So if you are serving people in South India, North India, any part of the country, even outside India, you want your audio to be available in Mandarin, Chinese, Spanish, all of that. So we have these models now. We are working on these technologies which can dub your audio from one technology to another using AI systems, obviously. So a lot of personalization is the use case for us, specifically at Fermion. Crunching of data, making it available in a better way for end users and instructors. So I feel getting into AI requires you to start working with at least the publicly available tools like ChatGPT, Claude, these tools. So first of all, it has to come from a point of awareness that are you even aware that these systems exist. That is where I would start. Before using it professionally in my workflow, I would start to use it on a personal level. Like, I will start to ask certain questions, certain things, just to get a hang of what these models are. Once you have understood some level of technology base, since I'm assuming that people are technical or somewhat technical here with 1-2 years of experience, you would also be able to appreciate the differences which most people don't understand, like what model you're talking with. Some models are intelligent, some are not intelligent. So which one to use when? So once you get to this level of comfort, then you can start looking into specific applications. So AI right now, it's not a general intelligence system. It can't do everything. That's why people are still building layers of software on top of AI, which helps you specifically in certain parts. If you're programming, for example, there are IDEs. If you are doing sales calls, there are some AI SDRs for those things. If you're doing something else entirely, there are specific solutions for that. So whatever you're doing, I would say start with looking for tools in those areas. And of course, if it's something generic and if you don't know, you can just go with chatbots like ChatGPT and all. AI will, in terms of taking job or in terms of losing your job, I feel it's a productivity game. If you're losing job, you have to look into the reasoning why that has happened. And ideally, it would be because some more people are productive compared to you. Some people are more productive compared to you using these tools. So as of now, the state of AI is not like it can completely do your work. It will only enable somebody else who's using these tools to do it far better than you. So that would be the only reason you would, lose your job if that happens.
So let's move on to our fun segment where we'll be asking Mehul this or that question. So automation or augmentation?
Automation.
Generative AI or predictive AI?
Generative AI.
Growth or profitability?
Growth initially, then profitability.
Gen AI in education or Gen AI in healthcare?
Education, because I don't have a lot of healthcare context.
Okay. So robotics as colleagues or AI only assistants?
For now, I'll stick with AI only as assistants.
Okay.
It's too early for.
Okay. Work from office or work from anywhere?
Work from anywhere.
Okay. Books or podcast?
Podcasts, personally.
Okay. Coffee or chai?
Coffee.
Elon Musk or Satya Nadella?
Elon Musk.
Okay. So coding nights or strategy days?
Coding nights.
So let's move on to AI hot take. I'll throw some bold statements about AI and startups and EdTech. So you just have to say agree or disagree. Okay, and give us one line statement. So Gen AI will replace teachers in the next 10 years.
Disagree. Yeah. So it's, I mean, because you're giving me just a Boolean answer, it's not a black and white, but it won't fully replace. That is what I feel. There is still a human element, a human touch that people require to understand things beyond a certain point. But yes, it would be 80% there, but the rest of the 20% would still require a good teacher.
Okay. AI is more about data than algorithms.
Disagree. Because we have seen this, that there are some optimizations and some things which teams like DeepSeek in China have done, which unlock basically like 2 to 10x factors in terms of performance and how AI responds. So it's not just about data, it's mainly about both, I would say so.
Okay. So most edtech platforms, they claim to use AI, but very few actually do.
Yes, agree.
Okay. So open source AI will always beat closed models.
Uh, Disagree as of now because the state of the art models are not open source, which are good.
Okay. So startups should focus on profitability over growth at all costs.
Disagree. You have to focus on growth first. I mean, depends on the business model of startup also. You can think about profitability later also, as long as you have built something which a lot of people want.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Founders don't need to code, they just need vision.
um, depends. Agree. You can have a technical founder also, but you can also have, again, depends on the product, right? So if the product itself is not technical, you obviously don't need to be a coder. But yes, if it's a technical product, if it requires any level of coding, then one of the co-founders should be, I feel.